Hey everyone, Brian Zane here. You know, one of the biggest keys to success for any tag team is having a close bond with your partner. But history has shown us the occasional odd couple can find success. Two guys, one tag, Dalton Castle and Joe Hendry, and now PJ Black and Brian Johnson come to mind these days. But strange pairings are nothing new here. With that, here are my top 5 unlikely tag teams in ROH history. Number 5, Charlie Haas and Rhett Titus. The All-Night Express of Rhett Titus and Kenny King shocked the world when they beat Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin for the World Tag Titles at Best in the World 2012. But in the blink of an eye, King left Ring of Honor, leaving Rhett without a partner or championship gold. But while Benjamin was serving a suspension, Haas decided that the best way to beat him was to join him, as he and Titus reluctantly joined forces in a tournament for the vacant belts. The two rivals made it all the way to the finals against Jimmy Jacobs and Steve Corino, but were undone by the actions of Benjamin, back from suspension and in his own partner's corner. Wrestling's greatest tag team took their frustrations out on poor Titus, who was never quite able to get his revenge. At number 4, Low Ki and Homicide. Though close friends outside the ring, Homicide and Low Ki couldn't have been any more different inside it. While Low Ki was the personification of honor in our business, Homicide was ruthless, violent, and had no problem turning professional situations personal. But at Manhattan Mayhem in 2005, Ki joined forces with his mentor to start a war with Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal, for the simple fact Joe's reign as Ring of Honor champion made him the face of the company that Ki felt he established. They may not have won any titles, but Ki and Homicide proved to be one of the most vicious forces in Ring of Honor throughout 2005. At number 3, B.J. Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs. With the departure of both Christopher Daniels and Dan Moff, B.J. Whitmer found himself by himself, the prophecy having fallen to pieces. By mere chance, Whitmer began teaming with a young and unruly Jimmy Jacobs, and what began as a real odd couple soon turned into a relationship almost like that of brothers. As the serious Whitmer finally began to show his softer side toward the animalistic Jacobs, the two would go on to win the ROH Tag Team Gold on 2 occasions in 2005, making them one of the most beloved pairings in the company. That would all change once Jacobs began to pine for their manager Lacey, but that's a story for another time. Number 2 is Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. In the summer of 2005, Christopher Daniels came back to Ring of Honor after a 16-month absence, claiming to be a changed man far away from his villainous past. But his dark nature would emerge from time to time in an effort to dismiss young wrestlers who could prove themselves, such as Matt Sydal. After beating the rookie handily in 2 straight encounters, eventually Daniels' ego got the best of him, allowing for Sydal to fall an upset victory. The Fallen Angel then took the young man under his wing, and together, the two would beat the Kings of Wrestling in November of 2006 to become the World Tag Team Champions. Though the partnership dissolved soon after they lost the belts to the Briscoes, it was a team in which both members gained quite an education about each other. And the number 1 unlikely pairing in ROH history is Cheeseburger and Jushin Thunder Liger. What happens when one of Ring of Honor's biggest fan favorites pairs up with one of wrestling's all-time legends? One word: magic. A friendship was formed between the two during the inaugural Global Wars in 2014. Upon learning that Liger was Burger's favorite wrestler, the Japanese icon taught the young star the secret to the Shote Palm Strike. Fast forward 2 years to Global Wars in Chicago, when the two teamed for the very first time to beat the Addiction in what was then the biggest win of Cheeseburger's career. In time, the two would also battle teams such as the Dogs, SCU, and even Bullet Club. And though they may not have won every encounter, it was a pairing the fans couldn't get enough of. And that's why the unlikely duo of Cheeseburger and Jushin Liger is the best of its kind in ROH history. That's going to do it for this week, fans. I'm Brian Zane. You know what? I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Anyone here want to team with me? Hello. Unlikely partnership with Brian Zane? Anyone? Anyone at all? That's okay.